And we are back. So, moving on then. Nothing this way, is there? Oh. Well, finally get to talk to Crypt Man. How have you been, my friend? Many worthy challenges can be found here, even in the bottom rungs of the gauntlets. Even if the going gets tough, perhaps unbearable, one must press on and break through those barriers. When you get something like that before the next stage, I'm worried now. I'm really worried. If I get a warning like that before the stage, this is gonna be a thing, isn't it? Trouble in the Fortress by Keta, or Xeta. Ace gave a lot here, but Shinryu really did not have a fun time for once! Oh, I'm worried. Oh, I'm worried. Wait, yeah. Most of the score is from functionality from Shinryu. Oh, I'm worried. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Anyway, I forgot to say the score, but... Dr. Wily. As much as I hate to say it, I want you to rescue my fortress because for some unknown reason, my robots just malfunction out of nowhere. So all I will say is this. Please, for my sake, do it! No. Sorry, Wily, but no. You don't deserve... You don't deserve that. We do have a trickster token we have to look out for. I'm gonna assume that's a pit. Oh boy, starting off with a Joe. When the first enemy in the stage is Joe. Yeah. Okay, ouch, that was a very small jump. These almost look like Top Man assets, but I know they aren't. Well, this is a very... Okay, I was gonna say empty room, but I see. Is this Pump Man? Not Pump Man, Wave Man? Don't know why that's there. By itself, this is a very bland stage right now. But maybe this is just a warm-up. Maybe it will try to do something interesting later. But then again, look where it is in the tier. So where am I lying here? I'm lying to myself when I say I'm expecting this to start doing something interesting. Well, let's give it benefit of the doubt. Maybe something will happen. Okay. Different kind of tile set, so easy enough to distinguish. See, that's fair. I like the pump that's shooting diagonally. That's kind of cool. Yeah, easy enough to distinguish that this is a fake walkthrough wall. That's kind of unfortunate, isn't it, Blocky? Oh, hello. That's a real one, yeah? Okay, good. Wasn't a one-up fake out from the other stage. Oh my god, that's an interesting... Well, this makes it a bit more trivial. That's not the boss lineup, mini-boss lineup I expected to get. Okay, onwards to the end. Well, the most surprising aspect so far was the bloody mini-boss duo. Oh, hello. There was no way getting through that, was there? I saw, and well, there just wasn't a gap for me to escape into. Okay, we kept you on screen, so you shouldn't have respawned your HP. Good. Come on, Bubble Bat, or is it Baton Ton? One or the other is correct for this enemy. You do like just... Oh, and there's the boss. Why is there a pump at the top? For what reason is that there? Is that just aesthetics? I'm gonna assume that's what's going on here. But now there's that. Interesting. Almost like there's a reason to go up there. Vespa woman again? Okay. Ow. Oh, that's not good. Oh, I like this song. What I don't like is the position I put myself in. Okay. So the beast takes 2 shots to defeat. Okay, I figured out your pattern now. Yeah. Okay. I understand how to fight you now. There was no reason to be worried. That stage was perfectly fine. Nothing brutal and very, very difficult. Recent, but Shinju really, really wasn't impressed. So let's see what they had to say about it. Mick, 27. There's really not a whole lot to say about this. Gameplay-wise, it's simple enemy encounters interspersed with a whack ton of gas crack. There's a few enemies here that I don't always see, namely Glooper, but the individual encounters are so bare bones that it undermines any potential creativity present. The only time it breaks from this bare bones design is the boss fight, by which I mean the weird and mildly broken mid-boss of Suzak and Wappa. So that's Suzak, Phoenix is the other bird. Add on the aesthetic design, which is just a better baked tile set with a bright blue background, and the whole level is just sort of there. I do remember encountering a Death Cliff Crash here once, but when that's all that sticks in my head, that's not really the best indicator of quality. I'd advise something more involved for the next round. Oh dear, Shinri's avatar's disappeared. 13. Sorry, nothing! And while I'd rather not leave my review as a short joke, this is one instance where I feel my hand has been forced. This is mainly because there's really not much to say about this stage. The only semi-notable thing I feel is worth mentioning is the double mini-boss with a Wappa on one side and a misaligned Suzak on the other, which causes the fight to break. Otherwise, this is an incredibly bare-bones level, very basic room and enemy layouts. There's not much more to it than that, unfortunately. Wow, super short. Patchy, 38. Like an afternoon's work, very lackluster. Yeah, I can understand where you're coming from there. Most of my afternoons are nowhere near as productive as mornings. Default tile set and single color backgrounds make the stage look really dull and uninspiring. Enemies don't really combine with the stage layout or with themselves, they are all kinda just there, not really posing any real threats. Some okay use of the Waveman's theme, but it's too basic as a primary gimmick of the stage. You can skip the entire upper portion in the token room. Ah. The Ringman mini-boss isn't even looking at your direction most of the time. Someone ought to teach them about manners. Oh. Boss is just a standard fight with Honey Woman. Is it Honey Woman? Am I just calling her wrong when I say Vespa Woman? Or do they all just go by Honey Woman because... I'm getting confused here. I thought it was Vespa Woman because she appears in Magmammal 2 and she's called Vespa Woman though. Anyway, don't know why she's there unless she was the mastermind all along behind the whole Fortress takeover plot, but she's just a cute little bee. Flashman 44, okay. Sure, I'd love to playtest your clearly still in progress level. Obviously you need to add some background graphics and swap out the default DevKit file set, as competently used as it may be. For something resembling a fortress, the premise falls flat without the aesthetics to back it up. It's also hard to tell what's the bottomless bit and whether the nice sounding, slightly quiet music actually fits the intended atmosphere. scratch my rope quite a bit. In terms of gameplay, the level is off to a decent start. A few introductions might catch the player off guard, particularly the water spouts, but most are fine. I'd like to see a couple power-ups even though the average player won't need them. More focus in the asset selection, several things are used once and then forgotten, and more deliberately shaped challenge arcs. The second encounter with an asset is usually easier than the first. No complaints about checkpoint placement or leveling. Challenges tend to be spaced too far apart and lacking in complexity. More inconveniently placed water spouts like the one on the second gachapon screen would inject some urgency and trickiness into these largely unremarkable challenges. Bionicle water spouts could be really interesting if used outside the decently hidden token room. Yeah, I like the idea of a diagonal one, I do have to say. The best parts of the level are when hazards corral the player into tight situations like the batons at the end of the mini-boss fight, which despite the steep learning curve for newcomers works better than it has any right to. The level is absolutely playable, but one text box and a constant gimmick are the only thing giving it a sense of direction. If you bulk up the challenges, re-examine the difficulty progression and update the graphics, then you'll be in good shape for another round of playtesting before submission. And Ace, 45. That's the highest score from Ace so far. Not too much to say here. I would describe this level as an inoffensive, simple level that desperately needed a different tile set. The gameplay did not have much challenge to it, and I would have liked to see the gimmick pushed a little further. But despite these issues, the end result was playable, and sometimes that is a success in itself. Clearly this is a work of the beginner, and the level shows some understanding of the basics. There were a couple of specific issues which held the level back. The tile set used is meant for testing and not for finished levels, so needed changing. Some of the enemies are only used once, where more focused levels will pick a few enemies and use them repeatedly. The Phoenix mid-boss was placed incorrectly and ended up in the floor, and the Whopper was facing the wrong way! Finally, the steam wasn't introduced well and comes as a surprise in a way that can damage the player, where ideally gimmicks are introduced in a safer manner. Second pair of eyes would have spotted most of these issues straight away, so make sure you get your level checked in the future. Yeah, honestly, that was decent. It was relatively straightforward and simple, but as a level, it had a gimmick, it chose it used it a lot. It wasn't hard, it had a mini boss, good length, theming was okay-ish, so yeah, that's actually one of the more complete stages of the contest we've played so far, I would have to say. So a good start, and you can use this as a learning curve to just become better in the future. Good job. With that said, let's move on to the next one. Or break first.